So, I have to be honest, I was not at all interested in this show when the trailer dropped. Don't get me wrong, I like Fallout. I haven't played a full game in the series, but the world and the lore has always intrigued me. I mean, I honestly thought that the show would just be another video game adaptation, without the love and care put into it that the IP honestly deserves. I have never been so happy to be so wrong about a show. Admittedly, the first episode kind of leaves a lot to be desired for me at least. I'm not super aware of all the Fallout lore, and so I didn't completely understand everything going on in the first watch. That's a good and a bad thing though. Fallout doesn't try and hold your hand. If you're not super familiar with the world and the lore, some things will leave you a little confused and maybe wanting an explanation. But honestly, I respect the show. We don't get multiple exposition jumps and they just let things play out naturally so that we can figure things out for ourselves. You see that, Avatar? That's how you do it.
What is it?
Zhao's boat. It's gone.
Zhao? He heard something about a flying cow near Kyoshi Island, so he set sail at dawn.
Besides some confusion, I was honestly a little bored in the first episode. I took notes and one of my bullet points literally says, "What is the story?" Like multiple question marks and everything. You're probably wondering, why did I keep watching? Quite simply, the characters. I've said this in multiple videos of mine, but the biggest thing for me is always the characters. I didn't think I'd enjoy a Fallout series because I thought that they just make a generic post-apocalyptic show with Fallout imagery, references, throw some Easter eggs in there, call it a day, Hollywood money, you know? But Amazon actually hired a team that cared about the source material. But they did what every adaptation needs to do, whether it's, source material from a video game or a book or a comic book, and that is focus on the characters. When you have interesting characters that we as the audience can build a connection with and genuinely care about, then when the plot stuff happens, we as an audience already have a genuine emotional response to it because we have teeth in the game. We care about the characters, and so when stuff happens to them, we care about what happens. Look, the plot of Fallout isn't bad, don't get me wrong. The stories they tell here are fairly interesting, and there's definitely room for things to expand and get even crazier. But that's not why I kept watching. I kept watching because I wanted to see what would happen to Lucy and the Ghoul. Like I said earlier, the plot itself didn't get me hooked. I was wondering how my favorite characters would react to the plot, and that's what got me. I wanted Lucy to find her dad because I like what I learned about Lucy in the first episode. I was invested in what she finds in her journey because I felt like I knew her so well as a character that I could imagine how the plot would affect her. We'll get back to Lucy, but I want to take a second to give a hand to my boy Walter Goggins. Walter Goggins as the Ghoul is absolutely insane. Shout out Goggins because this man kills it as Cecil every single week on Invincible, and now he's got another Amazon show and an amazing character to boot with it in the Ghoul. He's gotta be Amazon's lucky charm right now because both Invincible and Fallout are not arguably, they are Amazon's best and biggest series at the moment. Sorry the boys, you're right there, you're so close, but these two shows just eke it for me right now. Honestly, every episode I got more and more invested in the Ghoul and his story. Once the credits roll at the end of episode 8, all I wanted is the next chapter in the Ghoul story because they left it at a really big cliffhanger.
My name is Lucy McLean.
Ella Purnell as Lucy was a very, very big surprise for me too. She could so have easily been a really annoying character. Her whole thing is her being a goody two-shoes who struggles to adapt to the wasteland, as violent and as horrible as the wasteland is. This is the thing though. After episode 1, I was still unsure about the lore and the plot, but I thought Lucy was funny, so I kept going and she did not disappoint. I know that Purnell is in Yellow Jacket, I haven't seen that show, but I'm a big fan of this actress and I can't wait to see what else she does now that Fallout has gotten the deserved success that it has. I cannot speak apparently.
The Ghoul, played by Walton. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. What was it like working alongside him?
Terrifying.
Okay, this video has been sunshines and rainbows. What's a negative? My one negative is Aaron Clifton Moten as Maximus. He doesn't quite work for me. Aaron is giving a decent performance. It's not weak, but I would say it's definitely the worst performance of the main trio. That's not Aaron's fault though. He got kinda screwed with the script, to be honest. I could tell that outside of Maximus's relationship with Lucy, the writers didn't really have a grasp on what Maximus was supposed to do or who he was. Compared to Lucy and the Ghoul, who seem like very fleshed out and established and like, you know, they're heading in a certain direction and it's very clear. Maximus was kind of wishy-washy. You know, he would be going one direction and then suddenly be going a different direction. And I guess that's kind of the point of his character. He's doesn't really have a personality, outside of Lucy, of course, which is kind of annoying. I didn't like that. But Aaron is a talented actor, and with what he was given, he did pretty good. The thing is, now that season 2's been confirmed and they left him in the place that he is, Maximus as a character, I mean, I really hope that the writers figure him out, because I can see Aaron truly shine in what now is his biggest career role. They set him up in a really good place, and honestly all of the setup for season 2 is good. They left the show at the perfect point where the character arcs of the season are pretty much done, but at the same time there are a bunch of questions plot-wise that we could still have answered. And because I care about these characters so much now, I want to see what the answers to this plot are so that our characters can react to it and like we can see them grow, and I'm just so excited to dig into that. It's awesome. I can't say how excited I am that the show is successful. I hope that Hollywood learns the right lessons and decides to lean into crafting characters that people love before they go crazy with plots and multiverses and Easter eggs. Give us characters that we love and we'll continue to keep watching, guys. That's all you have to do. It's that easy. This should be the lesson Hollywood learns from this. This show pairs mostly incredible character writing with incredible visuals and the amazing score of Ramin Djawadi. He is amazing, by the way. He did Game of Thrones, Westworld. His score is always fantastic. This show is my surprise of the year so far. I honestly started thinking that I would hate it. I'm not gonna lie, I thought this was gonna be a you should not watch Fallout video. But I am absolutely floored and surprised, and I absolutely loved it. I can't say anything best or more about how much I enjoyed this show. That's not a sentence, but I'm gonna keep it in because this video is kinda short. Fallout Season 1 gets a 7.5 out of 10 from me. There's a lot that can be improved, but they're all minor things that didn't completely ruin the show for me. I love the characters, I love the score. The plot is interesting because I love the characters so much. Like, it's a little basic, but they start expanding on things and making things more interesting. But if you have seen or played Fallout and you're familiar with Fallout, it's not anything that's going to be super out of what you're familiar with. The Ghoul gets most of the like new TV only stuff, but most of the characters are kind of archetypes of like a character you would play in the game. Anyway, at risk of going another rant, 7 out of 10 from me, 7.5 out of 10 from me, excuse me. Fallout's a great show. I really enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Subscribe. Only like 16% of the people watching these videos are subscribed, so come on guys, help me out. Fallout's getting a lot of love, so hopefully this gets pushed through in the algorithm. Have a fantastic weekend, y'all, and I will see you guys next week with a brand new upload.